Hello, I'm going to talk about what it means to be ruled by the moon. Given that there's going to be a full moon this Saturday, I think that's rather apt. And then we've just got the sun to do. And because we've got a solar eclipse on the 30th of April, I'll make sure I do it before then. So what about the moon? Some of us are more affected by the moon than others. But I think we can all safely say that there is some level of effect, whether you acknowledge it or not. It's something to take note of. The moon orbits every 28 days, so it comes round its cycle really, really quickly, which is why we have a full moon once a month. And sometimes we may have two full moons, depending on where that falls in the year, because there are 13 full moons in the year. And indeed, that used to be what the calendar was based upon, so that everybody knew the full moons fell on these particular days pretty much every month. Unlike what happened when the Gregorian calendar came in, which said no more 13 moons because that's far too feminine, we must just have 12. And now everyone's all over the place going, oh, when is it a full moon? And can't quite remember. And it's really another example of how out of step we've come with the natural world. It's a feminine planet, which I'm sure is no surprise whatsoever. The symbol is D. It rules Cancer. That's why it really affects me. It's really good in Taurus. It's okay in Scorpio, but it's not particularly happy in Capricorn. The colours are silver and white, and the day of the week is Moon Day, unsurprisingly. So that's Monday, just in case you didn't get that. And the metal is silver, a shimmery, silvery moon colour. So body parts, because it's ruler of Cancer, are breasts, stomach and womb. That'll be no surprise, which is why often your periods will align with the full moon. The key words associated with the moon are emotions, instinct. It's very receptive, so it receives. Reflection, so reflects back to you things. Habits, imagination, intuition, sentimentality, the mother. Introspectiveness, changeability, your feminine side, your nurturing nature, children, childbirth. And indeed, when we look at medical astrology, or indeed astrology in general, the moon, your moon is kind of like your inner world, your emotional world, as opposed to the external world, which is your sun, what you might cast out. Your moon is what you take in. It rules the night. And it also travels through, well, obviously it's on a 28-day cycle, so it's travelling through every single zodiac on a 28-day cycle, which is roughly 2.5 days per sign. The one on Saturday will be in Libra. And this is the basis of your emotions, so what your emotions are about, how and when you express your feelings, your deepest personal needs. So it's a good idea to know what your moon is. Certainly if there's a difference between your moon and your sun, because some people have the same sun and moon in the same zodiac sign, so what they project, they also reflect, so internally. So there's a real consistency there, but most of us, it's in a different kind of, our internal world is different, the way in which we present externally. And it's good to know where your moon falls, because it will give you an idea about your kind of, all those things I listed, how they kind of come up for your feminine nature, your nurturing side, etc. And if your moon is kind of like not in a great position, as in it doesn't fit very comfortably, it's in Capricorn, how like the full moons might be really kind of uncomfortable for you. So that's why you'd want to know about it. And it kind of describes your home life as well, because Cancer rules the 4th house, which is all about home life and your relationship with your mother. So that's why you'd want to know where your moon is in relation to your home life, if you want to understand what the vibe is at home, or why you might want to always be nesting, or why you want to be constantly changing your home, or why your home's not very important to you, and why it is to your partner, for instance, or your children. It also shows you the areas in life in which you feel most comfortable. So if your moon is in your 2nd house, for example, you need to feel financially secure in order to feel stable. And again, it's about knowing these things about yourself so you can make informed choices about who you really are and who you're not. So you may have kind of followed a narrative that you were given, that was given to you, and quite often that is the case by parents or siblings or friends, and actually that's not actually true, or you're not living in your truth, and that's why life feels so uncomfortable. So that's something to be kind of wary of. And also following the moon cycle, so the moon has all these different phases, and so knowing when you were born which phase the moon was in is really important in terms of kind of, again, understanding the best time of month for you, when you want to possibly be casting spells or making important decisions if you're not into that. So yeah, the moon, the wonderful, wonderful moon. I'm an absolute moon lover. And I find it very sad that, lunatic asylums came up, and hysteria and things like that were coined by the Greeks, etc., to kind of talk about women being out of control and emotion, etc. And that's all moon stuff, and it just drives me nuts. Anyway, if you want your chart read, get in touch. I will be very pleased to do so, and I do children as well, so that gives you a greater understanding of the offspring that you are bringing up if they're young, what you've got in front of you if they're babies, or what they are going through as teenagers. And it can be really empowering for them to get that kind of self-knowledge to bring about self-acceptance and help you feel that you're not banging your head against a brick wall if you're trying to get them to do things they're just never going to be able to do, just because you somehow understand that that's required of them, and actually it's not. They're just not going to fit in. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, get in touch.